a nonprofit founded in New York in 2006 by elite artists who practice Falun Gong. Now, Falun Gong, you probably also heard about it. It's an ancient spiritual practice similar to yoga or Tai Chi, rooted in the Buddhist and Taoist tradition. For over 2 decades, the CCP has waged a brutal campaign against Falun Gong practitioners, declared the group as an evil cult in order to justify its horrific persecution, which involved like mass imprisonment, torture, and even forced organ harvesting. Among Falun Gong practitioners who left China for their safety, a group of professional dancers and musicians founded Shen Yun, right? So they can freely celebrate their faith and the Chinese culture heritage. Different from yoga or Tai Chi, yeah. So Falun Gong emphasizes on one's morality and virtue. These are the 3 basic principles of the practice. So this is a group of people that they put their faith into making arts. You can see that dancers, musicians, these are from their website. They formed Shen Yun to save the traditional Chinese culture, which is lost in China under the communism, and then bring the essence out and share with the world. So why it is banned in China? Why is CCP so afraid of this dance show? Well, first, Shen Yun presents China before communism, right? Traditional Chinese culture has been suffered in China since the 50s under communism, especially the essence of the culture. It's gone. And world philosophers, ancient or modern, believe that for any culture, its essence is more important. It's rooted in that culture's spirituality. Our founding father, George Washington, said that religion and morality are the essential pillars of civil society. John Adams also said that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. Religion and morality are the roots of our society and foundation. And our nation started with people that came here on Mayflower ship seeking religious freedom. Right? So American culture is rooted in Christian belief. And Chinese culture is rooted in Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism. Traditional Chinese values are very similar to Christian value. They focus on kindness and faith, and they are the opposite of communism value. Communism, hates God. That's Karl Marx says that his object in life is to dethrone God. The communism believe that absolute power to themselves and use violence and deception to achieve that. A major tactic for communism to turn people into their tool is to destroy people's belief in the divine and fill that vacancy with hate. The divine culture, okay, see that? Hate, right? Divine culture is different. It's filled with love and compassion. It can change people's heart. So that's why CCP sees Shen Yun and the revival of divine culture as a threat. Another reason that Shen Yun is banned in China is because in the show, there's a couple of dance pieces that featuring the modern day hero in facing the CCP's persecution. Their determination to stand by their principles. That's the story of Falun Gong practitioners. This is what Beijing fears the most, is to let people to know the truth about the human rights crimes that's happening in China. And CCP's effort to eliminate Shen Yun is beyond aggressive, it's evil. Threatening and harassing performers' family member in China is something that they do every day. And outside China, they use cyber attacks against Shen Yun's ticketing website. they hire local thugs to slash tires on Shen Yun's bus, so can create accident. They also mobilize online commenters to post negative reviews for Shen Yun. Right? It's a very typical smear campaign. But despite of the slanders and the attack, Shen Yun continue with their mission. And over the years, it has become one of the fastest growing shows in the world. While most of the performing arts companies heavily rely on government grants and corporate sponsors, Shen Yun does not have any support from any government or business. They are self-sustaining. They do have a lot of support from volunteers like me. From December to May, during the touring seasons, 8 equally large companies with its company orchestra, right, tour the world simultaneously. They go over 180 cities in 20 countries, perform to 1 million live audiences each year. And when they are not touring in the summer and fall, they produce brand new shows for the next season. So every year you see brand new shows. You can see this show every year, not repeating it. They work so hard to bring the best show to the world. But the more successful Shen Yun becomes, the more fear and hate from the CCP. CCP has been using economic and diplomatic pressure influence to force theaters and the government worldwide to disrupt Shen Yun show. Right? From canceling the show to block performers' visas. For instance, in 2016, the Chinese embassy in South Korea threatened with financial retribution against a theater in Seoul. The theater was forced to cancel the show just a couple days before the show date, after Shen Yun performers already arrived, causing great financial losses for Shen Yun. And this year, the CCP's repression grows more intense. Theaters hosting Shen Yun cities in the US, in Europe, France, England, and Taiwan receiving bomb threats. Just a couple months ago, the organizer hosting Atlantic shows received mass shooting threats. Those red dots on the map are the cities that receive disruptions from CCPs worldwide. What's more damaging is the propaganda that tarnished Shen Yun even appeared in America news media. 10 articles that's attacking Shen Yun and Falun Gong practitioners appear in New York Times for the past 6 months. Some of the narratives in these articles mirror the CCP's propagandas. Same narratives were formulated in China to dehumanize Falun Gong practitioners and to legitimize the persecution against them. And the author of these articles have direct links to China. The CCP's machine has been coming after Shen Yun for nearly 2 decades now. I wanted to share with you about Shen Yun to our conservative groups, not only because it has experienced the same kind of attacks from the evil, and it didn't give up like President Trump. But most important is through its own mission and work, Shen Yun reinforces President Trump's policy goal in defeating communism. And Shen Yun represents the core American values. Shen Yun is important to America. Why is that? Okay, first, Shen Yun is America's soft power to counter CCP's influence. It's a national consent. Doesn't matter you're Democrats or you're Republican or independent. Now, we all know that China, the Chinese communist regime, is the biggest and long-term threat to the United States. Most of the US strategy to counter CCP have been focused on economic and military fronts, but little done in the soft power. But CCP's leader understands the importance of the soft power of culture. This is Mao's quote on culture. So in the eyes of CCP, culture is not just an art or accustomed, with a powerful weapon in its battle against the free world. For the past 20 years, the CCP has been implementing a strategy called Chinese culture going globe. All right, see, what a nice picture, huh? It's a very deceiving. It focuses on tell China story. That's a meeting in their public bureau meeting. How they're going to implement the strategy, right? The tell China story is to let people to accept CCP's side of the story and accept the CCP version of the Chinese culture. Then over time, it builds up its soft power and eventually gain ideology, dominance, and international power. This is why the CCP is spending more than $10 billion every year to infiltrating and influencing all sectors of Western society. Since the real Chinese culture has been destroyed in China, right, since the 50s under communism, Chinese people, as well as the people in the West, cannot tell the authenticity of these culture programs, let alone understand the motive behind them. The CCP has an army behind these cultural warfare. They have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Ministry of Education, National Radio, Television, all the embassies and the consulars, and Confucius Institutes. They built this extensive propaganda network in the US using culture as a camouflage to infiltrate media, education, arts, sports, entertainment, etc. I'll give you an example. In September 2011, a Cultural Revolution era Red Ballet, it was performed at the Kennedy Center. And one of the lines in the program says, "Communist ideology is the truth. The party leads the way." This event ran for a whole month at the Kennedy Center. It also performed at the Lincoln Center and in many other prominent venues. These programs made communism ideology acceptable in America. Over the past 2 decades, Chinese government has dispatched countless of these dance performing groups to the United States. Americans are unknowingly accepting and welcoming these warped communist ideology as traditional Chinese culture. And the detrimental impact is hard to measure. Well, the best way to counter that soft power invasion is to utilize China's own culture. And Shen Yun is the solution. From the very beginning, Shen Yun's mission is to let the world see the real China, real Chinese people, and the authentic 5,000 years of Chinese culture. What Shen Yun presents are universal messages: truth, compassion, tolerance, justice, freedom, respect, self-discipline, right? Reverence for the divine, good being rewarded, bad being punished. Those values resonate with everyone around the world. This is a screenshot from Shen Yun's website for audience feedback. You can see that first one. You see that? That's General Michael Flynn. And these feedbacks are so touching. Some of them just in tears when they give an interview. Shen Yun inspires goodness and hope in all people. In a time of conflict and tension, more and more people recognizing that the positive energy of Shen Yun harmonizes the society. It can counter any force that attempt to divide us. Right? So, second reason that Shen Yun is important to America is related to national security. That's pretty serious. The U.S. House Committee of Homeland Security released a report, China Threat Snapshots, on February 12th, just a week ago. This report detailed 55 plus incidents of China's espionage activities on U.S. soil over the past 4 years. Those activities including transmitting sensitive military information, stealing commercial secrets, conducting transnational repression operations, such as setting up CCP's police station in the United States. One case that's mentioned in the report is about a California man acting as a CCP spy, bribing a IRS official in an attempt to revoke Shen Yun's nonprofit status. This man is arrested and sentenced to 20 months in prison. But those threats mentioned in the report is a part of the strategy formulated by Wang Huning, this guy next to Xi Jinping. Washington Post referred to this man as the mastermind behind Xi Jinping. Hoover Institute calls Wang Huning the world's most dangerous thinker. So he published a book in 1991, well, a long time ago. Wang Huning wrote a book called America Against America, right? How to subvert America from within. So his idea is not only using to apply to the United States, but it's also used on Taiwan and South Korea. Recently, I don't know if you heard about it, there's an impeachment of South Korean President Yun. It's still going on. But South Korean people now realizing that behind the impeachment is the CCP's infiltration force. The leaders and some of the members of the opposition party impeaching President Yun are the agents for CCP. President Yun wanted to safeguard the freedom of South Korea and oppose North Korea, the communist regime, right? But the opposition party, when that was exposed, that they went to China to meet Xi Jinping about the impeachment, 160,000 people went on the street to support President Yun. You can see that they're holding American flags, right? Representing the freedom and Korean flags. And another example is Taiwan. Currently, there is a massive grassroots campaign to recall those Taiwanese legislators who have become the tools for CCP. The Taiwanese people are also realizing that the CCP is using Taiwan's own system to oppose Taiwan. Well, in the United States, how are they gonna do that to us? In 1999, China published a very famous book titled Unrestricted Warfare, written by 2 Chinese colonels. This book discussed that warfare in modern day world is no longer primarily defined by military means, not even involving military at all. The new battlefields are virtually infinite. It could be financial, environmental, trade, culture, cyber, biological, or misinformation, can be anything. And the book claimed that unrestricted warfare transcends the national boundary and can take place in the enemy's own backyard. This book is full of plans and strategies, from using computer to smuggling illegal immigrants, to manipulate the stock market, to influence the US media, using weapons of mass destruction, all to destroy America. Well, believe it or not, right? This book mentioned the bombing of the Twin Towers 3 years before it happened. Newsmax took the CIA's translation of the book and made it public, available on Amazon. This version of the book has a cover of the burning Twin Towers and a subtitle, China's Master Plan to Destroy America. So Chinese communist regime is applying this strategy to all places it seeks to subvert. Especially in America, is the beacon of the free world, using their own people, their own system to turn against you. Chinese immigrants are the easiest target for CCP to turn them into their tools. CCP takes advantage of Chinese immigrants, their nostalgic feelings towards their native culture, their motherland, right, influence them to be loyal to CCP. As more and more Chinese people immigrated to the United States, and Chinese students also attending American colleges, the CCP's effort to influence them posed a great challenge to national security. Catching a few CCP spies is just not enough to protect our nation. We need some more proactive approach, some proactive strategy. Well, I don't mean that we should send spies to China, like they did it to us, right? And plus, there's not much to stealing from CCP anyway. The key factor that CCP dares to act this way, right, posing national security threats to us, is because it's a authoritarian regime under communism, driven by hate for freedom and democracy. It seeks to subvert any free country from within. A proactive approach would be to help Chinese people fight for their own freedom. When China is truly become a free society, and these threats to the United States and to the world will naturally disappear. In fact, in mainland China, and expanded to the United States, there are many forces that the Communist Party fears greatly. In my view, the most important and the strongest force is Falun Gong practitioners. Their civil disobedience is the grassroots, resistance to the CCP's tyranny. And their resistance is not based on hatred. Rather, it's about standing firmly in their principles. CCP finds those kind of resistance deeply unsettling and wanted to eliminate it by all means. But Falun Gong practitioners, they just stand fastly, hold their grounds in facing persecution. This civil disobedience represents Chinese people's contempt for the CCP's tyranny. Shen Yun is already, part of this proactive force in countering CCP's threats to our national security, right? Because Shen Yun led the ethnic Chinese people to reconnect with their cultural heritage, discover the traditional values. It led Chinese Americans to see that there is another way to be proud of their cultural heritage, at the same time embracing American values, freedom, human rights. Shen Yun helps them to break away from CCP's culture, which they were indoctrinated. A Chinese American community free from CCP's control is the best interest of Americans' national security. I have seen changes in many of my Chinese friends after they saw the show. Myself too, right? As a founder of a Chinese culture school, I thought I know Chinese culture until I saw Shen Yun. I discovered China that I never knew. Because myself, growing up in China, I was also indoctrinated to see the culture that they wanted us to accept. So Shen Yun's success has been spreading into China as well by overseas Chinese traveling home. In recent years, some Chinese, including CCP's officials, have flown to Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, and United States to watch Shen Yun. That bring changes to China as well. Shen Yun's impact may, maybe can achieve something that the military deterrence cannot achieve, the soft power. The third reason that it is important to America is it's an American brand, right? Around the world, Shen Yun is associated with United States, like Cirque du Soleil associated with Canada, River Dance associated with Ireland. It is ironic that the most authentic Chinese show is made in the US, right? And Shen Yun's success is a truly American dream come true. Supporting Shen Yun is like supporting America's core value. It is independent, right? Shen Yun is independent. It's not relying on any government grants, not subject to CCP's ruling. It represents justice, liberty, and real diversity, this melting pot of America. Protecting Shen Yun is also protecting America, this land of free and home of the braves. Well, at last, what are you going to see in Shen Yun? Right? You all wanted to know. Well, it's a spectacular show. The color is a feast for your eyes. You will enjoy the show so much. You're gonna see the pageantry of different dynasties and stories of ancient and modern day heroes. Costume, they're all hand-tailored, authentic to each dynasty. And the backdrop, it's animated by computer, digitally animated, and covers the entire stage, transports you to another land. This backdrop is Shen Yun's own patented technology. And their orchestra is amazing as well. They combine the traditional Chinese instrument with a full Western orchestration. All music is composed originally for each dance. And of course, the dance, classical Chinese dance. It is one of the most athletic and expressive art form in the world. It has a history over 3,000 years. This art form has influenced so many different art forms in the world. Like gymnastic, right? Before the Chinese team entered the competition, it was all ballet style, but they brought these flips and tumblings in the traditional Chinese dance, and now become standard. So next, I wanted to show you a video, so you will see what the Chinese dance look like.
What does it take to be a Shen Yun dancer? It takes a mind of steel and limbs of rubber. It takes pushing the body to its limits to know that the only limit is in our minds. It takes repeating the same move over and over and over again. It takes facing your deepest fears to conquer them. It takes falling over 100 times, only to get back up 1,000 more. And though the journey may be long, the toughest challenges bring the greatest rewards. You need to delve into the past to inspire the future. You need a head devoid of doubt and a heart full of humility. You need to learn to speak without saying a word. It takes knowing that greatness isn't achieved alone, but by the spirit of the team. It takes filling our hearts with truth, compassion, and tolerance, for the outer form embodies the inner spirit. Changing ourselves first to change the world. No matter what it takes, it's worth it.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, I just love the show. I cannot
What
get
does it
enough.
take to
Well, I have been volunteering to promote Shen Yun for the past 15 years or more. Last year, I was interviewed by Jeff Coonan on his radio show about Shen Yun. He brings his family to see the show every year, And he said that, just the Chinese words, that, what's his quote, that Shen Yun is an unbelievable treasure of art. Well, it's coming to New England soon. From the end of March all the way to Mother's Day weekend in Providence. Shen Yun, I hope that our conservative people can see the show. That's why I'm here. I love the show. I want you to go see it. And bring your family, for all the reasons that I just talked about it. And support Shen Yun. Let's make it sound. Thank you.